Hi guys, it's Heidi from Free to Love and Live, and thanks for checking in to my webinar tonight. I thought it was an important one to flip up because so many people are getting stuck in this area, and they're getting stuck because they're just not sure what to do or how to schedule their time. And for somebody that has been an employee, you've probably been told what to do and when. So it's not something that comes second nature to you. So what I thought I might do is get up and show you what I do with myself and what I do with my colleagues and how I get them started to be able to schedule their time appropriately. I think it's a good time to mention that I worked 56 hours most weeks until I was 5-star. So there's a lot of people out there with the misconception that if I quit work, I've got more time to put into this business. But what I see happen is that they may quit work, but they're not productive with the time that they do have on their business. And then they get into this stage of desperation. And that's when everything starts to unravel, where people then decide that it's too hard and that they may quit and go back to their 9-to-5 job because it seems like a comforting place to be at the time. So what I'm going to do now is show you that whether you have 8 hours in your week or whether you have 80 hours in your week, you can make this work for you. You too can get to 5-star. You too can max out your business just using the pockets of your life. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to share my screen. So just bear with me and we'll get stuck into the presentation. So I'm going to call this one Schedule to Success. So I'm not sure if you've ever read Stephen Covey's book, but he has some really good points in there. And his book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I think that's the word that I really want to emphasize to you, that this needs to become a habit. It is not something that you can come and go with. This is about consistent action in your business, where action just simply becomes a habit. Now, there are people out there that are totally effective people, and they're the people out there that need direction, and that's fine. And you can learn to be an effective person. This is what he says are the 7 habits of highly effective people. And the first one is independence. So this is surrounding moving from a dependent stage to an independent stage, or self-mastery. And number 1 is to be proactive. What are your roles and responsibilities in life? And when you relate this to your business, what is your role? This is a business. Is it your business or it's somebody else's? Be proactive. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. What do you want to achieve? What star do you want to achieve? What lifestyle do you want to have? And what sacrifices are required in the interim period? And put first things first. A manager must manage his own personality or his own person. But managers should implement activities that aim and reach the second habit, which is begin with the end in mind. So being effective simply becomes a habit where you are subconsciously not even thinking about the end in mind. It's in the forefront of your mind. We then move on to interdependence. And what this is about working with others. So think win-win, he says, okay, where generally you have feelings that will benefit somebody else, or you'll come to an agreement within your relationship. So this is where I relate this back to your Isogenics business, is that you're learning these skills so you can teach others too. You can teach others how to be an effective person in not only their Isogenics business, but in their life. You're going to be a much happier person when you're effective. Your relationships will be better. Your time freedom will be better. You're less likely to overcommit. Number 5 is seek first to understand and then to be understood. And where he's coming from here is just meet people where they're at. Understand their situation and then explain yours. First, seek to understand, then to be understood. When you understand someone and you have an open mind, it'll really help you influence the other person, creating an atmosphere where you're caring and positive about problem solving. So hence why I'm doing this webinar today. I'm doing this webinar today so it can be recorded and passed down within our teams so that I can give somebody a caring, positive problem solving to their problem of being ineffective. Synergize. Combining the strengths of other people through positive teamwork so we can achieve goals that no one could have done without. So this is where I'm talking about collaboration. Collaboration is so important. Who can you ask for help? Who's already done this? Who can give you the answer? Why make things hard for yourself? Be an effective person and ask for help. And continuous improvements, and he likens this one to sharpening the saw. It's times where you balance yourself, renew your resources, and, renew yourself, because nothing that you're doing over and over again without renewing yourself will be sustainable. So why do we need a schedule? You have in your hands $1 million business. Who do you know that runs a business that doesn't have a diary or a schedule? What shop do you know that doesn't have opening and closing hours? What employee do you know that doesn't have a scheduled lunch break? You are the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar business. Treat this like a profession and not a hobby. And I say this all the time. You treat this like a hobby, you'll be paid like it's a hobby. However, if you treat this like a profession, like a job, like an important position, you will be paid fairly. You want to free yourself. You want time freedom, but you have to work really hard to get that. And it's easy to work hard more effectively than working hard ineffectively. A schedule will help benefit you and others. Just take your family, for example. If I didn't have a schedule where I put my phone away between the hours of 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., I may not have a family. You need to let everybody know clear, concise when you're working and when you're not. Why am I passionate about scheduling? I'm a Virgo. It's in my genetics. I was a nurse and I loved doing staffing and rosters. This comes second nature to me because I worked in the staffing office. I managed the hospital. People were calling in sick. I was juggling people around. I knew that I could drop staff from here and put them here. I was really good at looking at it from an organizational point of view and seeing what had to be done and when. I loved puzzles as a kid, putting things together. I was busy. I needed a schedule. I built this business to 5-star, which is 100 cycles a week, working 56 hours a week as a nurse with 2 children, husband, and all the other things that come on with a household. I needed a schedule because I was already busy, but I knew with a schedule I could find pockets of time in my working week, which would enable me to build this business to what it is today. I needed a schedule in order for me to create time freedom. So it's a little bit about me for those of you that are jumping on for the first time. This was me 3 years ago. I just had my second child. I was terribly overweight, overwhelmed, working 56 hours a week. I also had a toddler who was in and out of hospital. with pneumonias, and I was really struggling with what my role was. Was it a mother or was it a professional? At this stage, I was just so unhappy with who I saw in the mirror. So I joined Isagenix purely for the products and released 27 kilos, which I've kept off for 2 years. It was my top secret. I didn't want to share it with anyone. I was looking good, feeling fantastic, and I liked that feeling. However, the bills started rolling in. We had $17,000 worth of credit card debt, and I knew that I needed to stay on these products. So I started sharing, and within 12 months, I retired myself on 6 times my nursing income. We bought this basically brand new 6-bedroom house in North Narrabeen on Sydney's northern beaches. I then, at 16 months, brought my husband home from his construction job. We now private school our kids and living life of our dreams, traveling all over the world. We also donate heavily and contribute to society. So this year we were able to purchase a carer or hire a carer in a Sri Lankan orphanage, which allows 7 children to have a home, a roof over their head, some food to eat, school supplies, and an education. So that's my little story about Isagenix. So stats in my business, and this is really important for you to keep in the forefront of your head. 10,000 people in my downline in 2 and a bit years. I enrolled personally around 200 of those people. I have 30 active consultants. I've personally enrolled and developed 4 executives. I have 9 executives now total in my downline, and 7 are currently paid as executive. So what I'm saying is back here that you have to do a lot of work, a lot of enrolling, a lot of developing, experience a lot of heartache, a lot of disappointment to get to where I am today, which is 8-star platinum. Stop fluffing and start firing. Those of you that are sitting here tonight or watching the replay, and this is where I really want to drum home to you is, what are you doing in your Isagenix business? You may have been in it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, maybe only a week, and you're fluffing around. Your husband might come home and you say you've been working on your Isagenix business all day, but have you actually been working? And this is what I want to get through to you today. What is working your Isagenix business? Facebook is not working your Isagenix business. Sure, a post here, leveraging on your friends about, making sure that you're having conversations on Facebook in terms of recruiting and getting your message out there, but scrolling through news feeds, seeing what everyone's up to, liking people's pictures, taking selfies at cafes, putting it up there is not going to feed your business. Isagenix groups will not feed your business. So what I recommend is that you allow half an hour max a day to go in, manage your groups, get the communication, catch up on things, and then post what you need to post and get out of there and start productively working your Isagenix business. So there's a lot of people as well that are innovating, making something better, developing a spreadsheet. I can't do that yet because I've got to make a movie, or I've got to, stop innovating. When you go to develop something, I want you to ask yourself some questions. Why are you doing this? Does your upline have this already? And has it worked for you? So it's got to where you are now. Is it working for your upline? Why are you doing this? Do you think you can do it better? Has Isagenix already done this for you? Has Isagenix already developed that form? Do they already have a memory jogger? They already have a list. Do you need a spreadsheet? Has Isagenix already done this for you? Is what you're innovating duplicatable? Unpacking the box for 2 hours for each person, is that duplicatable? Or is there something in our team that you can leverage, like podcasts? Is this duplicatable? A duplicatable process, you have to ask yourself, can an 8-year-old do it? If an 8-year-old cannot do what you are innovating, do not do it. It will not become duplicatable. It is wasting your time. Have you developed another system for the hell of it? Is it keeping you busy from the main thing? So many people distract themselves innovating these systems which just keep them away from the main thing because they may be out of their comfort zone to pick up that phone. Have you developed another system for the hell of it? Do you think you can do it better? You know, is that what it is? Do you think it can do better? And I go back to the first one. Why are you doing this? What new tool can you develop that you can do better than Isogenics? Why are you doing this? Go back to your second habit of highly effective people, which is begin with the end in mind. Why are you doing this? Does it mean another spreadsheet? There are 8-year-olds that cannot work spreadsheets. Think about that. Is it duplicatable? Can an 8-year-old do it? Does it mean another spreadsheet? In my opinion, you could get rid of it. So the structure of my day goes, 70% of the time is IPA, and that stands for income producing activities. I always complete these first. And the reason is that my day usually goes to poop. So what I have to do is make sure that I'm getting that IPA in, because this is phone calls, this is follow-ups, this is meetings, it's organizing events, launch parties, anything that will produce me a direct income. You're looking for PRBs, you're looking for rank advancements, you're looking for new blood into your business. You go back to that slide where I had all of my stats. I've enrolled 200 people. I've got 10,000 people in my downline. How many people from that 200 are not in my downline now? You're constantly having to enroll in your business. And the only way you'll do that is through IPA activities. Self-development is 10% of your day. And I see a lot of people stuck in self-development. They're getting ready to get ready. Okay, but I don't have much time. And those people that don't have much time, you don't have to sit in an office, quiet, listening to podcasts. How about when you're at the gym, to and from school or work, in the car, cleaning your house, put a podcast on. You're also taking that time from yourself. And 20% of the time is training and duplication. Yes, this is on Facebook. This is 20% of my day. I go in, I manage my groups. I don't scroll through the feed. I'm checking ANZ, FYI, making sure the groups are being compliant, coaching, leveraging tools, ensuring duplicatable systems, looking at reports, meeting with those who requested it, matching energy with energy, and turning up to events. Turning up to events is the most important thing in that third component. 20% of the time spent on your Isogenics should be at events and building belief in yourself and in others. So this is what I do. I get people to get a big spreadsheet. One spreadsheet I do use. So Monday to Sunday there, and then I break the hours up. And what I've done this for you is when I did work, a 56-hour work week, okay? So those of you that are still in full-time work, I'm going to show you how I found the pockets of my life to make this work. So here we go. We've got at between 6 and 7, I'm up getting ready for work. 7 to 3 o'clock, I was at work. I then picked up the kids and had family time till 5 o'clock. I then worked on a Saturday night through till Sunday morning. And this is the time that I was at work or I was directly with my family and I could not work on my Isogenics business. But then, when can I work? And that's that yellow shaded area there. So all the other times that I wasn't dedicated, I could work. But when will you work? Okay? Where's me time? And if I did this, I wouldn't have stuck to it. I did have to make some sacrifices, but I also had to put in some time for me. So on Friday night, I would not work my Isogenics business. That was time with my husband. On Sunday, when I came home from work until the kids went down for a nap, that was my family time. But all the other hours was time that I could work. I was dedicated. So I committed to working these hours. I committed that Saturday morning I would work my Isogenics business. And between the hours of 5 p.m. and 10 p.m., I would work my Isogenics business most days. Count all those hours up, guys. I had 1 hour here, 2 hours here. I just found the pockets of my life to work this. And this is where I say, work your business and don't let it work you. I'm in bed every night by 10 p.m. My family isn't disturbed. I have found 36 hours a week for Isogenics. I have 12 hours free time a week for me. I have, though, made some sacrifices. I didn't put my children to bed for a long time. I would go and kiss them, but my husband would prepare them. He would bath them. He would feed them. He'd put them to bed. Saturdays, I was generally at events. Tuesday night and I was at head office training. I was holding launch parties once a week. I gave up television for Isogenics. But working 56 hours a week and also finding 36 hours that I was dedicated to Isogenics, I ask you, is this sustainable? Who wants to work 80 plus hours a week? It is not sustainable. So pick a pace or pick an hourly rate that you want to work. Okay, if you're already working 40 hours a week, what do you want to put into your Isogenics business? And this is where I say it doesn't matter how many hours you have, it's what you do with them. So let's just say I worked a 40-hour week and I just said, okay, I've got 20 hours. And you can see back from that previous slide, I found 36 hours working 56 hours a week. I found 36 hours and I still had free time in there. I still was in bed by 10 o'clock. I still was on date night with my husband. But yes, I had made some sacrifices. So coming from 20 hours from 36 is much better. I've got more free time. And I'm still sticking to the rules. So with 20 hours of work that I've found in the pockets of my life, IPA needs to come first, and that's 70% of the time. So out of 20 hours a week, 14 hours needs to be on income-producing activities. Calls, launch parties, talking to people, sending them to the tools, follow-ups, anything that's going to bring you an income into your business. Training and development was 4 hours a week. That was easy. One was head office. One was attend a Super Saturday once a month. There's my 4 hours a week on average, training and duplication. And self-development was 10% of the time, which was 2 hours. And that, again, something in the car to and from work, when I was at the gym, when I was doing housework, in the background, feeding my brain, constantly feeding it. So I was able to get over the hurdles that this business puts in front of you. So now that I was able to retire myself within a 12-month period using this pockets of my life to get to 5-star, where I was at 100 cycles and earning $5,000 a week US, my diary now looks like this. I've got a lot more free time. I've got a lot more red time, which is blocked out for my family. On Wednesdays, I do not work. The green is IPA. You can see it comes between 9 and 2 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I've got my Super Saturdays booked in there for the year. And this is all done through Google, and it also downloads to my phone. I've got dance classes. I'm able to go to dance classes now. And yes, I wasn't able to do that when I was building this business. I was sacrificing my family at times to build this business. But now my family come first. Now we're able to go on trips. Now I have time freedom because I made some sacrifices. I never put Isagenix above safety or responsibility as a mother, but as a partnership with my husband, I was able to compromise and set an agreement with him as what I would commit to this business. Big difference between sacrificing and responsibilities. You can also keep on track with a 3x3x3 matrix. 3 new contacts. That stands for the first 3, where you're sending a tool and having deliberate conversations about Isagenix. 3 follow-ups, and 3 people who you'll pour love into within your team. This is every single day. We do the 3x3x3 at least 5 times a week. So you're having 15 new contacts a week, following up with 15 new people, and 15 people that you're going to pour love into within your team. Accountability is a big factor for a lot of people. They need it. So some of my clients send me daily their next day's 3x3x3. And what they add on that is how they went that day and why they didn't do it. Now, it's not because I'm going to ring them up and tell them they're hopeless and give them and ground them or punish them. It's so that I just keep them accountable. It's so that I can ask why. It's so that they can ask themselves why they didn't do that. Some set up scheduling appointments with me. So we meet and I look at their life and find out when they can work and when they can't work and set their diary out for them. I also ask them to have a highlighter. So when they're setting up their diary, I ask them to highlight for a month what they didn't do and go back through the month and see if they can see any trends. And what you'll find is that most people highlight IPA first. That's the thing that they don't do. The self-development is easy. The training and development is easy. But is IPA easy? No, it's getting you out of your comfort zone. Some start accountability and some never complete it. So keep the main thing the main thing. And these are my beautiful daughters and they're my why. This is why I built this business. This is why I get out of bed every day. This is why I keep going forward when I get hit. They're my driver. My goals are my reward. So every time I hit a goal, I was rewarded. Stop looking for the answer. You have it in you. You have everything you need to make this business a success. And now you have a schedule. Go and do a schedule and stick to it for 30 days. Form a habit and become one of those highly effective people. IPA every day will generate you a direct income. The answers are all inside of you. You have everything you need. I can't stress that enough. So go and get it, guys. Go and be that highly effective person. Form a highly effective personality and teach others too how to do this. It doesn't come second nature to a lot of us. 7 habits of highly effective people. Get a diary today. Get online. Share your diary. Make sure you're working like a CEO would. You have a multi-million-dollar business in your hands. And you may not see it yet. But if you start treating it that way, you'll start getting paid that way. I absolutely promise you. So I hope that's helped. I hope that it's made you realize that you do, as busy as a life could be, working 56 hours, 2 kids, husband, everything else going on, that I was able to do that. And I was able to leave work only when I hit 5-star. So those of you that are striving to just hit 2, think of the possibilities. Think of the possibilities. Your life could be so different. And just remember that sign behind me. Happiness is not a destination. It's not sitting at 5-star, 2-star, max out. Happiness is a way of life. you're a highly effective person, less likely to overcommit yourself, less likely to get overwhelmed. You'll find that it just becomes a way of life and that you can be happier when you're effective. As your team grows, you're going to learn to be more and more effective with your time. And that doesn't mean slowing down your Isagenix business at all. It just means working smarter. So start these habits now. Start these habits as highly effective people now. And watch your team grow. Teach them the skills and have the most amazing team that blows Isagenix and Australia out of the water. Thanks for checking in with me, guys, and have a great week. See ya.